think I'm glad Kunal is here, the real Kunal. I'm glad Kunal is here, the real Kunal. It would have been better if the director and the Chanchol who played Kunal Sen would have been here. Very, very good conversation. Questions could come. It's not easy making a biopic because there's so many perspectives to a man, different phases that one has to go through, and it depicts it very well. So the director obviously had to choose a few, can't do everything. But the way he has done it, where starting from his struggle in his earlier days to his final times and living longest in a time and age when there was no internet, nothing, and he taught himself not only the film language, he also taught himself English. He decided that he wanted to make films, and he stayed with his determination. So I know him on a personal level, but I will let Kunal, if you have any questions directed to him, so that he can help. There are a lot of incidents which I saw brings a lot of emotion.
Yes, I'm not a filmmaker. I just happened to be there in that film, and biopics are a strange thing because all biopics, every biopic in the world is ultimately fictionalized. No one knows what people say in their bedroom. So you take somebody's overall trajectory from public information and then you build out the details. So for me, it is a very strange experience to watch this film because not only I'm seeing my parents, I'm seeing myself, which is clearly very weird. Plus, they shot this film in many of the apartments where my parents lived, I lived, to see the bed where actually my father died, to see books in the background that I bought. So it's a very strange experience. Most biopics are usually made a little later in history, so people who are directly involved with that person are no longer alive. If this film was made 30 years from now, I wouldn't be seeing it. So it's an unusual situation that I am in, where I'm seeing myself, I'm seeing my parents. I know I can recognize the situations because that really happened, but what we are saying is not exactly how we said it because there is obviously no record of that. And also I don't know, I mean, this film, Srijit used a lot of clips from all of my father's films. If you haven't seen them, I don't know how other people will connect. I can connect them. I know exactly where they're from. So that I'm curious how people, many of you haven't seen many of his films, how you connected or interpreted those situations.
Yeah, he's used a style which is very, very unusual. I have not seen that before. You know that where he wakes up from his bed early in the morning looking for Geeta, and then he asks for a cup of tea, and then he goes into a set, right?
Right. I think he mixed up these things, and also the film language he used is sort of like my father's with non-linear storytelling. Many still shots going back and forth.
Right. One of the scenes that really, I think, stood out, because Kunal is with me, that's what I'm saying, which is a very usual scene. I used to go to their house quite often, where his father and he would smoke cigarettes in the balcony and talk. And I think that was, it looked like the same balcony, and
It is the same balcony.
Yes.
It is the same balcony.
And so things like that pop up. I'm sure it must be difficult for him, but...
Yeah, I mean, I can't really watch it as a film.
Right.
I need more distance from it to process it. I mean, right now it's a very strange kind of nostalgia or a dream.
Any questions from the audience? Yes, go ahead.
Microphone right here.
Hi, my name is Anshul. I'm quite glad this film is made and screened now and not 30 years later.
Right.
Hence my question to you. You said you are not a filmmaker, but you are his son. And I want to ask, the statement which came, I wish the most hard times on you.
Mm-hmm.
And as an artist, as a filmmaker, it is when you take a stand, when you say things, when you voice your opinion through your art, it comes back to your family also. You take hard decisions. You alienate yourself from so many people. It comes to your family, it comes to your children, it comes to your parents. My parents don't talk to me if I take a hard stand politically somewhere. So how do you dealt with it throughout your life? Or so what is my question is guilt. Did he ever felt he is subjecting his family? Because I feel a lot of guilt, because if I'm writing a story, my personal life just seeps into it. My characters, I sometimes feel I'm invading their privacy, my wife, my family, because I draw so much inspiration from them. So I'm glad the son is here. So that's why the question to you.
Yes, I mean, I was very fortunate to have watched not only my father, but many extremely successful people, creative people in my personal life because of my father. And if I find one common thread among anyone who is that successful, is they're all very self-centered people. I think this is not an accident. It's without that focus. I mean, I wouldn't say it's selfish, but they're very self-centered. And without that, I don't think they could have achieved what they have achieved. If some of them are not so, probably that would be a hindrance in their success. In terms of guilt, I think he completely understood that he was self-focused. Because of that, my mother had to suffer. I didn't suffer that much because I was too young and I was protected. But my mother definitely suffered, and I don't think he could have achieved what he achieved without my mother's explicit support. I mean, at any point in his life, she could have said, I need more comfort, I need more security. And that would have taken away from his freedom to do what he did. He never cared about that. And he was a very impractical person. Like there is a mention in this film of which was true. When the first time he got invited to a major international film festival at Venice, this is a huge break for a new filmmaker. I mean, he was not new, but he was new to the international space. This is a huge break. They sent a ticket, which was an economy class ticket. My father never flew anywhere in anything but economy class. But he realized that this same festival would not have done that with a European filmmaker. And he immediately said, I'm not going. He took an impractical and very large risk because they could have said, okay, don't come. But that was not his heroism, but he was just impractical in those things. And so that same impracticality affected all of us to some extent, but we learned he was a wonderful person otherwise.
Yeah.
So we never took it as a personal affront.
No, I would say that he was self-made and he was determined. He knew what he wanted in life. He tried, he backed out, he tried, he backed out. But he knew that what you want is what you should do. And with Kunal, I think he did the same thing. I mean, he was in Calcutta, leaning towards the left and everything. Kunal didn't want to follow his filmmaking career. Kunal wanted to come to the US. Kunal wanted to study computer science. You know, he let him go. And that is something very unusual for someone that, I made my decisions in life, you make your own decision in life. So I think that was what is very Kunal Sen. And I must say that, he had so much energy, the vision that comes to me. They lived on the second floor. He would never climb the stairs. He would jump 2 steps at a time. I mean, I remember never holding on to the railing. He had too much energy, I would say. There's certain things.
Hello, my name is Ankita. আমি বাংলায় একটা কমেন্ট বলতে পারি বিফোর আই আস্ক মাই কোয়েশ্চেন। আমার খুব ভালো লাগলো এই ফিল্মটা, আর আমার এখনো মনে হয় ওই যে এরাটা ছিল তপন সিনহা, ঋত্বিক ঘটক, সত্যজিৎ রায়, মৃণাল সেন, ওই টাইমটা আমার মনে হচ্ছে না আর ফিরে আসবে আনলেস উই ডু আ লট অফ ইন্ট্রোস্পেকশন অ্যাজ ফিল্ম মেকার্স। বাট এই ফিল্মটা দেখে আমার ওই একটা পার্টিকুলার সিন রিয়েলি স্টেড উইথ মি, যে সিনে হি আস্কস সত্যজিৎ রায় ইফ হি ইজ লোনলি। তো মাই কোয়েশ্চেন ইজ, নাও আইল সুইচ টু ইংলিশ, was your father also a very lonely man?
Yes, and that conversation actually took place. So it's not that many other dialogues are fictionalized, but though that was not. So I think, see, in Bengal, maybe in India in general, but definitely when we were growing up in Bengal, in Calcutta, there is a very strange psychology among people that we believed in camps. That if you like this soccer club, you cannot like that one. If you like Satyajit Ray, you cannot like Mrinal Sen, and the other way around. So both of them, as I grew up, I remember they were circled by these psychopaths who which made it like that he mentions in this film as a barrier, that they could not go beyond that and talk to each other as frequently, as easily as possible. So yes, in a sense, I think anyone like that would feel somewhat lonely, that you don't have like-minded people to talk to. That's why he really liked coming to international festivals, because and he would be out most of the time when he's not making a film, because that was the place where he could talk to people, of like-minded people. They don't have to like his film, but they could have an honest conversation.
I can't see from here.
Two
Are there any
questions. Yes.
questions?
Oh, we have one. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
We have a question.
Well, one thing I must say,
Okay.
go ahead.
My question to you, Kunal, is, 2 days ago, I saw a film here called Zende. That was about a cop, a Maharashtrian cop in Mumbai, and very successful, honest cop. And he himself portrayed himself. Did Srijit Mukherji offer you the role of Kunal? And did you refuse? I want to know your thoughts
No,
about it.
no, he did not, and
Oh,
I
he did
wouldn't
not.
have
Okay. I
taken
wish
it.
he had.
I
honestly
cannot
wish,
speak
because
English
you're still alive.
with
So
such good
that's
accent.
one thing. But I'm not the director, of course. See, he could have offered you, because the Zende played himself. I mean, at his younger age, they're showing his photos, but he played himself. He's 80 plus, and he's not a film actor, but he played himself. Since you're alive, I don't know why he did that. That's for the director. That's one thing.
No, I can see one practical reason, because you see this character over a long range of age.
Okay.
You can, through makeup, you can make somebody older. It's very hard to make somebody younger.
No, he could have
Unfortunately.
played towards the end that role. I mean, he had
Yeah.
various Kunals, I think, or Mrinals also. But anyway, that's my own opinion. But but still, he did a fantastic job, and it must be a unique experience.
Just one more.
Yes, so there is only one more question.
One more question before the next film starts.
So,
Any comments?
yes, my question is, he fights about the date, like the authorities ask him to change the date, and why was the death of Rabindranath Tagore
so important to him, or so important to make sure that it doesn't change?
So they show it in this film, maybe not as clearly. So when Tagore actually died, my father was among the people watching it, and he suddenly spotted one person who was trying to carry a little newborn child, dead child in his hand, and he was trying to go to that same crematorium and getting pushed away by the crowd. And his immediate reaction was, to this person, Rabindranath Tagore doesn't mean anything, his death doesn't mean anything. If anything means to that date is his child's death. So similarly in that film, Paichyasravan, the couple, this is their wedding day. So he just chose that day as the name of that film.
All right, very
Thank you, everybody.
This is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.